Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sharpening Stone, where we hone the skills to cut off toxicity and carve out a better future. I'm David, a trauma-informed coach, and today's video, we're going to be talking about verbal abuse versus respectful communication. So if you're ready, let's get sharp. So, what is verbal abuse? Well, it takes all kinds of forms, but primarily it's when an abusive partner uses aggressive, antagonistic language to berate, belittle, demean, devalue, or dismiss you. Verbal abuse is a type of abuse that is experienced in toxic relationships that really attacks your psyche and your emotions at the same time. When it does that, verbal abuse causes all kinds of changes in your nervous system and in your body, and it can even affect your health in a number of different ways by raising your stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline, and reducing your healthy hormones, your connection hormones of oxytocin and dopamine and serotonin. Respectful communication is what's done in healthy relationships. What is the difference? How is respectful communication different from verbal abuse? Well, in respectful communication, both partners communicate and use words that show a welcoming and affection, a positive regard for each other. They use words that are soft and understanding. They can be confident without being overbearing. It's still open to the possibility of other possibilities. With respectful communication, it sounds welcoming, it sounds comforting, it sounds authoritative without being dictatorial. Respectful communication is something that we all need to experience to affirm the dignity that we have as human beings. It helps us feel safe and comfortable in a relationship to be able to extend trust to the other person, along with all the other healthy relationship boundaries, like respect, honor, nurture, humility. Healthy communication or respectful communication is kind of like tilling the soil so that it's broken up and ready for a seed to grow, to be planted and to grow. Respectful communication it penetrates deeply. It's based in truth, not lies. And it has a sort of healing and calming effect on both people in a relationship. Whereas toxic communication has a much different effect on the relationship. It's kind of like packing down the soil so that seeds can't grow and can't be planted in them. It's kind of like turning soil to rock, and so that water can't penetrate and allow plants to draw nutrients from the soil. It chokes off a relationship. So what I want for you is to be able to recognize toxic verbal abuse. And we may think that we can recognize it. It's pretty easy. It's just this off the wall, out of bounds, just way over the top communication. But verbal abuse can be very subtle. It can be a matter of a tone of voice, the difference between saying, I love you and I love you. That sort of subtle difference, although sometimes it's very obvious, sometimes it can be very subtle. And I want you to be able to recognize when verbal communication is abusive, when it's harmful, when it's packing down your heart so that you can't have a healthy relationship grow out of it. I also want you to be able to recognize respectful, healthy communication when somebody is communicating with you authentically, not trying to finagle their way in or coerce you into doing something they want by pretending or counterfeiting healthy communication. What's the difference? Well, the difference between counterfeit healthy communication and authentic healthy communication can be very, very slim sometimes. It can be so close to the genuine that honestly, sometimes we just can't tell. And it takes practice, definitely. The way to look for it is, does a healthy communication remain consistent and persistent over time? Are there any hidden agendas that come out? If there are, maybe it's a counterfeit. If there aren't, then maybe it's the real deal. I want you to know that with any healthy or toxic behaviors in relationship, uh, you always want to look for clusters and groups of behaviors over time. I like to say the phrase persistent and consistent because it really is true. Relationships are not on off, moment to moment, it's all or nothing. Relationships really are an analog living thing that take time and effort, and that consistent persistency over time will reveal if you're dealing with a toxic relationship or a healthy one. My name's David, and I'm glad that you watched this video. Thank you for spending your time with me. I'd like to invite you to the Sharpening Stone Coaching Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Group on meetup.com. You can find us there every Wednesday and Sunday evening, and you're welcome to join and hang out, just see what we're about, and participate if you'd like. Please feel free to leave any comments in the comment box below. And until next time, best success to you and stay sharp.